the Honorable Koni Wakabubu to second this motion. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Babu, proceed to second the motion. Give her the microphone. You can proceed to the dispatch, Honorable Senator. Oh, no, you have it. Proceed from your desk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for according me this opportunity as one of the members of the delegated legislation committee member. I want to state categorically that Bixar is a significant cash crop in Kenya, and it has several uses. For example, it's used in the food industry as a food colorant. It's also used as a medicine, as well as in cosmetics. Therefore, it impacts on human beings, and therefore, as a committee mandated to look at the legislation and scrutinize some of these statutory instruments, it's important that we scrutinize it critically and bring out what is important and what can be consumed. Therefore, I want to second Senator Mungatana's humble request that we be given more time to work on it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Honorable Senators, I now propose the question. Senator Chergay, you may take a seat. Honorable Senators, I now propose the question that pursuant to Standing Orders 190 and 199.3, the Senate approves the following Senate. I'll take it back. Very well, I'll take it back again. Honorable Senators, I wish to propose the question that, aware that the crops BICSA regulations legal notice number 145 of 2025 were tabled in the Senate on Thursday, 25th of September 2025, and referred to the Select Committee on Delegated Legislation for consideration pursuant to Section 12, subsection 1 of the Statutory Instruments Act, cognizant that the committee is required to make a report within 28 sitting days after the date of referral of the instrument by the Senate pursuant to Section 15, subsection 2 of the Statutory Instruments Act, which will lapse on Tuesday, 17th of February 2026, aware that Section 15.3 of the Statutory Instrument Act provides that by a resolution, Parliament may extend the time for consideration of a statutory instrument by a period not exceeding 21 calendar days, noting that the committee requires more time to consider concerns raised by stakeholders on the regulations. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves to extend the timeline for the consideration of the crops BICSA regulations, legal notice number 145 of 2025, for a further 21 days pursuant to Section 15, subsection 3 of the Statutory Instruments Act, to enable the committee consider objections raised by the public and make its resolution on or before Tuesday, 3rd March of 2026. Honorable Senators, this is another procedural motion. With your concurrence, I will proceed to put the question. Thank you. Senator Mofaya, you may take your seat. Honorable Senators, I now put the question that aware the crops BICSA regulations legal notice number 145 of 2025 were tabled in the Senate on Thursday, 25th of September 2025, and referred to the Select Committee on Delegated Legislation for consideration pursuant to Section 12, subsection 1 of the Statutory Instruments Act, cognizant that the committee is required to make a report within 28 sitting days after the date of referral of the instrument by the Senate pursuant to Section 15, subsection 2 of the Statutory Instruments Act, which will lapse on Tuesday, 17th of February, 2026. Aware that Section 15, subsection 3 of the Statutory Instruments Act provides that by a resolution, Parliament may extend the time for consideration of a statutory instrument by a period not exceeding 21 calendar days, noting that the committee requires more time to consider concerns raised by stakeholders on the regulations. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves to extend the timeline for the consideration of the crops Bigsa regulations, legal notice number 145 of 2025, for a further 21 days pursuant to Section 15, subsection 3 of the Statutory Instruments Act, to enable the committee consider objections raised by the public and make its resolution on or before Tuesday, 3rd of March 2026. Now, Honorable Senators, will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Clerk, you may call the next order. Honorable Senators, for the convenience of the business of today's order paper, we will reorganize the order paper and call order number 11 for purposes of approval of the calendar of the House. Clerk, you may call out order number 11.
Order number 11, motion. Approval of the Senate calendar, regular sessions for the 5th session.
Give me my notes, Babu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Majority Leader, of course, I'm sure Majority Whip is doing it on behalf of the Leader of Majority. Proceed to do that.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that pursuant to Standing Order 32, 1, the Senate approves its calendar register sessions for the 5th session, February to December 2026, laid on the table of the Senate on Thursday, 12th February 2026. Let me allow my good friend Eddie to second.
Senator Eddie, proceed to second the motion.
Mr. Speaker, this is a very important motion. It is important to the extent that this Senate must focus on some very serious issues in this particular session. I know there is pressure because we want to focus on other things. I see they started to talk about other things, but I think that the calendar is a very important one. So I want to, right from the start, second this has moved, but I want to emphasize, Mr. Speaker, that there are very critical issues that we must consider in this calendar year. I have emphasized the time without number, that we need to look at how our counties are being run, because this is a year when you will start seeing a lot of discrepancies and variances in our counties, in the counties, where people want to siphon a lot of resources to go to the campaign with. And this is not throwing any aspersion to the side of the governors, but these are trends that we have seen. So I hope that in this calendar year, Mr. Speaker, we can be able to focus on the books of governance and not just deal with them in the committees. Let us see them coming here to be debated. Alongside that, Mr. Speaker, we must be able to interrogate and engage the national government in its BPS that has just forwarded, Mr. Speaker. There are a lot of things that I hope that we as a House will be able to look at, but most importantly, let us do our work to make sure that we can be able to enhance the audit machinery, the audit function of this House with regards to how money is being spent in this country. I second, and I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Senators, I now propose the question that pursuant to Standing Order 32-1, Senator Joyce Correa, take your seat. Honorable Senators, I now propose the question that pursuant to Standing Order 32-1, the Senate approves its calendar, regular sessions for the 5th session, February to December 2026, laid on the table of the Senate on Thursday, 12th of February 2026. Honorable Senators, still at the previous motion that we dealt with, this is another procedural motion, and with your concurrence, I will proceed to put the question. Now, Honorable Senators, I put the question that pursuant to Standing Order 32-1, the Senate approves its calendar, regular sessions for the 5th session, February to December 2026, laid on the table of the Senate on Thursday, 12th of February 2026. Honorable members, I have received requests from members, which I had earlier on acceded to, that we give additional 8 minutes for members to comment on the statements earlier on by Senator Okinyuri, Senator Cherargei, and Senator, who was the third senator? Senator Mutata, yes. I will give each member 2 minutes, 4 of you. So we have got the 8 minutes to be taken, shared among 4 members. And from my dashboard here, I have got Senator Sifuna. I have got Senator on this side. I'll give 2 members on this side, 2 members on this side. Senator Sifuna.
Mr. Speaker, I would want to comment on the statement brought by the Senator Funani on the luring of Kenyans into the Russian-Ukraine war. Honorable Speaker, towards the end of last year, I attended the launch of a report by Oxfam titled Kenya's Inequality Crisis, the Great Economic Divide. And for the benefit of this House, Honorable Speaker, that report, just to highlight, nearly half of Kenyans live in extreme poverty. The senator from Mandera was just briefing me on the drought situation there. They have over 10,000 households that are affected by drought. The second notable thing, Honorable Speaker, the study found that the top 1% in Kenya controls 78% of the country's financial wealth, while a majority struggle. Thirdly, Honorable Speaker, and last, that the richest 125 individuals in Kenya hold more wealth than a combined 43 million of us in this country. Why do I bring this report here, Honorable Speaker? I want to argue that it is in fact ourselves who have created an impossible situation, an impossible life for Kenyans, that it is very easy for them to fall into these traps, Honorable Speaker. When you are looking at your family starving, and somebody tells you I can get you a job somewhere, you will most likely want to go and do that job, even when, Honorable Speaker, you might not be, it might not be in your best interest. We have heard of these stories in Myanmar, Honorable Speaker. There was Kenyans that were lured there to go and do some extortion business. And now Russia, we have heard about the situation again in Saudi. We met with the Saudi ambassador, the Kenyan ambassador to Saudi in December as well, Honorable Speaker, Ambassador Ruwenge. And he painted a very dire picture that Kenyans are very, very easily lied to by cartels that are operating within this country. Honorable Speaker, it is incumbent upon Parliament, not Parliament, but the national government, to be able to protect life and property, to be able to protect the life of the citizen. These stories we hear, because we have seen international media even reporting, Mr. Speaker, that some of these agencies that are being used to lure Kenyans into these traps are owned by very powerful people in government. And I am sure that unless we uncover those cartels, these problems are going to persist. So we must look at ourselves. What sort of environment, what sort of society have we created for the young people, Honorable Speaker, of these 125 richest individuals in Kenya? You would be very interested to see if there is anyone below the age of 35 in that group. Mr. Speaker, we must resolve the situation of our own people so that we save them from these traps that have been set by these cartels. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Wakoli.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity to contribute to this pandemic. Honorable Speaker, it's sad that we were just enjoying Valentine the other day. Kenyans surprised themselves with flowers, others with chocolates, while our Russian counterpart was ravaging our cabbages without any mercy, Honorable Speaker. This matter, Honorable Speaker, reflects on the issue that Honorable Cherege has just raised about the Russian problem. And I was sharing with Cherege and asking him, Honorable Speaker, our young people are dying, they are being duped, as Senator Sifuna said, that there is green land far away where they will always harvest milk and honey. And there they go to Russia, Honorable Speaker. But as we say that, we have a similar scenario in counties of Kenya, where county governments are behaving like the Russian cartels, duping our young people, taking them around in circles, some way back from 2016 with appointment letters but no jobs to be done. Courts have resolved that these young people were employed, but governors will prefer boarding planes to various destinations in the world, but our young people suffering and praying to God that where did they go wrong. Honorable Speaker, we must weigh in this matter, that as cartels in government and those who are friends of government take advantage of our young people, we must be able to call them out. As boldly as we are calling out county governments who are not remitting taxes, statutory deductions of our young people, but they have an allocation called.
Senator Wakoli, your 2 minutes is up. Senator Olekina.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to make some brief comments on this very disturbing statement by the distinguished Senator from Nandi. But the question, Mr. Speaker, that all of us must ask ourselves is that how much is this parliament contributing to Kenyans running away because of unemployment, to seek for greener pastures abroad, where they can be risky, they can be arrested, they can be molested, their passports are taken away. What are we doing and what are we going to do to solve that problem? I'm tired of us lamenting on a daily basis. There is a law which we are now considering in terms of legal migration. We need to fast track that. The Labour Committee must now go bring that legislation, and we fast track it to make sure that we license a handful of agencies in this country who are the only ones who will be required to recruit migrants abroad. We must ensure that the Ministry of Labour, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the executive work hand in hand to be able to solve this. Finally, Mr. Speaker, our county governments must re-engineer their CIDPs to create employment locally. People are running away. Governors are lining their pockets. Yet our people die because of hunger, Mr. Speaker. It is uncouth that we have professors, we have highly educated Kenyans who are jobless. Every single day, I dare say, all of you receive requests from people who are highly educated to be able to get them a job or pay for their kids' school fees. It behooves us, and it's only us who can end this. We cannot lament, we cannot blame other countries. We start from here. Our embassies abroad, I feel sorry for them. Most of them have no budgets. They have no money.
Your time is up, Senator Olekina. Senator Murango.
Kwanza ningetaka kuchangia honja ya taarifa ambayo iletwa na Senator Kenyuri. Mstahiki Spika, afya njema ni tanjamara na kuishi ni faradhi. Na kwa hivyo Mstahiki Spika, wakati ugonjwa wa saratani unaingia kwenye familia, tushaona familia ambazo zimefilisika kujaribu kutimbu mpenda wao, wanabaki kuokota virombo kwa sababu ya kuishiwa na kufilisika. Mstahiki Spika, katika mpango wa SHA ambao wagonjwa wa saratani walikuwa nafaa kupata timba ambayo ilikuwa hadi shilingi 800,000 laki 8, Mstahiki Spika, ni vizuri kama ingeanza kufanyishwa kazi haraka iwezekanavyo ili tuweze kuwakinga na kuwatibu wale wagonjwa wa saratani ambao wanahangaika. Mstahiki Spika, Mstahiki Spika, katika hospitali zetu pia ukiangalia katika kaunti nyingi, gatuzi nyingi, licha ya kupata fedha nyingi, hawajatilia maanani sana kutibu saratani. Na nikimalizia Mstahiki Spika, katika taarifa imeletwa na Senator wa Nandi ni kwamba wale waliohusika katika kupeleka wale vijana kule wanafaa kunyang'anywa leseni zao na wasiweze kurudishiwa, kwa sababu Warusi wakuja kuwashika vijana wetu mateka hapa. Walipelekwa na watu ambao wengine waliitisha pesa na wakapeleka pale. Asante sana Mstahiki Spika.
Senator Wambua, as you close.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to go on record on that matter raised by Senator Cherage. Mr. Speaker, I want to say two things. One, this matter is so serious, Mr. Speaker, that actually we need a motion to discuss this issue. This issue is beyond Kenya, Mr. Speaker. I was in Uganda with some of my colleagues here when we went for the games in December last year. And at the airport, Mr. Speaker, hundreds of young people being ferried away to Arabian countries to seek employment, Mr. Speaker. When you go to the JKIA today, the bulk of the people traveling out of the country is young people going out for jobs. So, Speaker, the irony of this matter is, once these young people leave this country, our government has no touch with these people. They are recruited to go and do decent assignments. When they get there, everything changes. And there's nobody to follow up on what they are doing. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, when the governors met in Kilifi, for heaven's sake, this is a matter that should have occupied the minds and the time of governors to discuss on how to help their young people in their counties to get jobs. not to discuss how they are going to escape accountability, Mr. Speaker. But Speaker, these issues need to be discussed and discussed seriously, even through a motion. I thank Cherargei Senator Nandi for bringing up this issue, but I really fault him for casting aspersions on his colleagues. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Senators, I had indicated earlier on that I'll do 2 members each side. You will notice that I have given an extra person. The chair is on the microphone, Senator Beatrice. I will exercise the discretion in the interest of colleague senators here to allow Senator Consolata 2 minutes, and lastly Senator Beatrice 2 minutes. We will close on that debate, and Senator Wambua, I encourage you to pursue it in the form of a motion that you have proposed, so that members can still contribute to this particular motion. Senator Consolata.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for according me this opportunity to contribute towards Senator Esio Kenyuri's statement on accessibility of cancer medication. Cancer has become a monster, or rather a menace, in our community and in our entire nation. I would like to contribute by saying that as a country, there is need for us to flex a little bit on the red tape, or rather bureaucracies that are laid as procedural measures for the patients to access this cancer treatment. A case in Bungoma County where we find breast cancer and cervical cancer on a high rate, and we are really taking a lot of time and effort to do a lot of fighting cancer. Screening is done, yes, but it seems to be very expensive and inaccessible, especially to the rural woman. So I want also to appreciate the statement and look at the cost analysis of what is being spent on cancer treatment, because some of these rural women cannot be able to afford that cost for the cancer treatment, maybe to transport their patients to referral hospitals. So there is also need to decentralize these facilities, even down at the grassroots. So I want to embrace availability, supply, affordability, and access of cancer treatment to our counties, not only in Bungoma County, but all the 47 counties. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and therefore I support Senator Kenyuri's statement.
Senator Beatrice Ogola.
Thank you, the Honorable Speaker, for the wisdom that you have while at your chair. Honorable Speaker, I would like to support the statement by my sister, Senator Esio Kenyuri, especially on the cancer treatment, and with a focus to availability of services, to access to early services, and particularly to public facilities. Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the treatment of cancer, if it is delayed, becomes so expensive and beyond the general public that we have. Honorable Speaker, even as the statement talks about Kenyatta National Hospital, Honorable Speaker, many patients, by the time they arrive or they are referred to Kenyatta National Hospital, they will be at later stages that come with a lot of expenses while treating the cancer patient. Honorable Speaker, in the last few weeks, I've had a personal patient, and I want to thank Optic Hospital for the services they rendered to this patient. But I keep on asking, if I met those expenses, what about the many Kenyans that are there, Honorable Speaker? And that is why the Ministry of Health should unlock the benefits that come with SHA. We want to see availability of services and many patients accessing cancer treatment services, and especially down at the health centers, at the dispensaries, because, Honorable Speaker, we need even to go to another step of declaring cancer a disaster in this country. A number of people are suffering and are not able to meet the expenses that come with the treatment of cancer. And Honorable Speaker, I want to declare that SHA is...
Your time is up, Senator Beatrice. Your time is up. Take your seat. Now, clerk, let us now resume order number 12. You may call that out.
Order number 12, motion, consideration of the report of the mediation committee on the coffee bill, Senate bills number 10 of 2023.
First, Chairperson, mediation committee to move the motion, Senator Wakoli.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move that the Senate adopts the report of the Mediation Committee on the Coffee Bill, Senate number 10 of 2023, laid on the table of the Senate on Thursday, 4th December 2025, and that pursuant to Article 1132 of the Constitution and Standing Order 1673 of the Senate, approves the mediated version of the bill. Honorable Speaker, I want to appreciate the Almighty for us to cross over this year. As we left last year, Honorable Speaker, the Kenyan farmer, the coffee farmer, was anxiously waiting to see how far this bill goes, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the mediation committee of this bill, number 23, was constituted by the Speaker of the National Assembly on 22nd July 2025, pursuant to Standing Order 1492, of the National Assembly Standing Orders, and the Speaker of the Senate on 20th of May 2025, pursuant to Standing Order 1162 of the Senate Standing Orders. The committee held 5 sittings to deliberate on the coffee bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2023, in accordance with the Constitution and relevant provisions of the Standing Orders of the Senate and the National Assembly. Having considered the coffee bill, Senate 10 of 2023, the committee observed, 1, the coffee law will help to regulate the coffee industry in Kenya, as it will ensure that producers and manufacturers comply with established standards and guidelines. This will help in improving the quality of coffee products and ensure the consumers are protected from harmful and substandard products. 2, a clear legal framework for the coffee industry will make it easier for investors to understand the regulatory environment and make informed decisions about investing in the sector. This can lead to increased investment in coffee production and processing facilities, which will create jobs and drive economic growth. 3, the Coffee Bill 2023 has provisions that protect domestic coffee producers from unfair competition from foreign imports and middlemen. This will help to support local coffee production and ensure that Kenya's coffee industry remains viable and sustainable. 4, the coffee industry is an important part of Kenya's agricultural sector, and promoting the growth and development of the industry will promote food security in the country. This is especially important given Kenya's dependence on imported coffee and other food products. 5, a well-regulated coffee industry will generate significant revenue for the Kenyan government through taxes and other fees. This revenue will be used to support important social programs and infrastructure projects. The committee, having reviewed the coffee bill, Senate 10 of 2023, recommends that the House approves the bill with amendments as proposed in the schedule in Chapter 5 of this report. The committee is grateful to the offices of the Speaker and the clerks of both Houses of Parliament for the logistical and technical support accorded to it in the execution of its mandate. Finally, we express our appreciation to members of the committee and the committee secretariat for their patience, sacrifice, endurance, and commitment to the assignment which enabled the committee to complete the task within the stipulated period. It is now my special privilege and honor to commend this report to the Houses for approval on behalf of the Mediation Committee pursuant to Article 113(2) of the Constitution, Standing Order 1501 of the National Assembly Standing Orders, and Standing Order 1611 of the Senate Standing Committee. Senator Wafula Wakoli, MP Chairperson, Mediation Committee on the Coffee Bill, Senate number 10 of 2023. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to request Honorable Murango, who was my former chair on agriculture, to second.
Senator Murango.
Asante sana Mstahiki Speaker. Mstahiki Speaker, naunga mkono sheria ambayo imeletwa hapa na kusomwa na mwenyekiti wa kamati ya kulima katika bunge la Senate. Mstahiki Speaker, leo najivunia kusimama mbele ya Senate kuangazia mswada kawa ambao niliudhamini kama seneta wa Kirinyaga na kuungwa mkono na bunge zima la Senate. Mstahiki Speaker, safari ya kukuza kahawa ilianza kabla wa mwaka wa 1932 wakati wa Lowezi. Na Mstahiki Speaker, kahawa si zao tu. Kahawa ni urithi wetu. Mstahiki Speaker, fedha za kigeni zinazoletwa na wakulima wa kahawa nchini ni takriban milioni 293 milioni dola za Kimarekani. Mstahiki Speaker, wakulima wanaohusika moja kwa moja katika ukulima wa kahawa nchini ni takriban wakulima milioni 1. Na Mstahiki Speaker, gatuzi ama kaunti ambazo zinazohusika katika kukuza kahawa ni gatuzi 33. Kwa hivyo Mstahiki Speaker, tunapoongea mambo ya kahawa ni mambo ambayo ni muhimu sana kwa Kenya hii na ni muhimu sana pia kwa wakulima yetu. Na ndiyo maana Mstahiki Speaker, mimi nikiwa mkulima wa kahawa, ninapokuongea mambo ya kahawa wakati mwingine na huwa nashikwa na hisia kwa sababu ya mambo ambayo mambo mazito ambayo mkulima wa kahawa amekuwa akipitia. Mstahiki Speaker, ndio mtu wa kahawa uanze kuzaa kahawa mara ya kwanza, inahitajika kupanda, kupalilia na kupatia mbolea kwa miaka 3 ndio uanze kupata zao la kwanza. Na Mstahiki Speaker, mara kwa mara wakati kahawa inapofikia kuvunwa, unapata wakilitimba ndo wanaingilia na kuweza kuchukua fedha ambazo zinafaa kuwa za wakulima. Na ndio maana Mstahiki Speaker, sheria tulipopitisha juzi ambayo inaratibu utendakazi wa vyama vya ushirika katika kuangazia zao la kahawa imekuwa ni na maana kubwa sana kuhakikisha kwamba fedha inapopatikana katika soko la kahawa kutoka katika jiji la Nairobi inaenda mpaka mashinani na kusaidia wakulima. Mstahiki Speaker, eneo la Kirinyaga mali limetoka ndilo linaongoza katika ukulima wa kahawa kwa wale wakulima ndogo ndogo. Namba 1 inaongoza ni Kiambu, lakini wale ni wale wanalima mashamba makubwa. Kaunti ya 3 katika ukulima wa kahawa ni kaunti ya Kericho, ikifuatilia kwa karibu na kaunti ya Nandi na kaunti zinginezo. Mstahiki Speaker, kwa hivyo ninapoongea hapa naongea juu ya zao ambao ni muhimu sana kwa Kenya. Na Mstahiki Speaker, wanaokunywa kahawa ni wengi sana, hata hatujafikisha kiwango cha kuweza kuridhisha soko ya kahawa. Mstahiki Speaker, kahawa ndio zao peke yake duniani ambalo ni la pili kuuzwa na kununuliwa na ni baada ya mafuta peke yake. Mstahiki Speaker, kwa hivyo wanaouza mafuta ambao tunatumia katika magari zetu na katika viwanda zetu, kitu ambacho ni cha pili duniani ni kahawa. Lakini Mstahiki Speaker, lazima pia tuangalie sheria ambazo zinafinya wakulima wa kahawa. Mojawapo ni sheria ambazo zilikuwa zimeletwa za malipo ya moja kwa moja. Mstahiki Speaker, mswada huu ama sheria hii inakuja kuondoa kero ambayo ilikuwa imeenda kwa wakulima kwamba mtu akiuza kahawa yake alipwe na mpesa moja kwa moja, na hiyo ingeua vyama vya ushirika ambalo ni muhimu sana katika wakulima. Mstahiki Speaker, Mstahiki Speaker, wakati mkulima wa kahawa anapokuwa na matatizo ya karo ya shule, anapokuwa na matatizo ya kiafya, katika utaratibu ulio katika vyama vya ushirika, anapata nafasi ya kwenda kule na kupata fedha ili kujikimu kwa mahitaji yake. Mstahiki Speaker, ya pili, katika mswada huu tunarudisha bodi ya kahawa nchini ambayo ilikuwepo hapo miaka michache iliyopita na kuondolewa, ambao iliondolewa na kuwekwa pamoja na AFA na shirika la AFA, taasisi ya AFA. Mstahiki Speaker, kahawa haiwezi kuwekwa pamoja na mazao ya mboga na kalela na vibamia. kwa sababu wanaoumia wakati kahawa haijaangaliwa sana ni wakulima wengi sana nchini, Mr. Speaker. Kutakuwa pia katika huu mswada, wakati bodi itaundwa, Mr. Speaker, kutakuwa na mkurugenzi mtendaji ambaye atakaa pale, kutakuwa na mwenyekiti ambaye atakuwa anapatia macho na kuangalia na kuhakikisha kwamba kahawa inapewa nafasi yake katika nchi hii. Ya pili, kutakuwa na taasisi ya uchunguzi ya kuboresha kahawa na miti ambayo inapandwa na wakulima. Mr. Speaker, ukienda katika nyanja za juu utapata kuna kahawa fulani, kuna kahawa ambayo inapandwa sehemu zile, sio kama ile inapandwa nyanja za chini, inaitwa SL34 na SL34 na SL28, ambayo inaweza kujikimu katika sehemu kama za Kajiado, Machakos na sehemu nyingi za chini. Lakini sehemu za juu kahawa, ile aina ya kahawa haiwezi kujikimu kwa sababu ya ugonjwa ambao unaitwa CBD. Kwa hivyo katika taasisi ambayo inaitwa CRI kwa kimombo, Coffee Research Institute, itaweza kuangalia na kuangazia kuhakikisha kwamba mbegu na miche inayopewa wakulima inalingana na hali ya hewa katika sehemu zile, ili tuweze kuongeza zao la kahawa na tuweze pia kupata fedha zaidi. Mr. Speaker, pia kuna kutafuta soko. Sasa Mr. Speaker, ukiangalia kwamba nani sema serikali imefanya kazi kuhakikisha kwamba kuna uhusiano mzuri kati ya Kenya na Marekani. Huo uhusiano umekuwa mbaya katika Amerika ya Brazil na nchi zingine kutoka pande hiyo, Mr. Speaker, kusini mwa Amerika. Hiyo ni kusema kwamba Kenya tuna nafasi zaidi ya kupeleka kahawa yetu katika nchi za ng'ambo, hususan Amerika, na kuuza kwa bei nzuri. Miaka iliyopita kama 2-3, bei ya kahawa imekuwa ikiongezeka. Tatizo imekuwa moja, kwamba wakiritimba wameingilia vyama vya ushirika na kuhakikisha kwamba mkulima hawezi kupata haki yake. Na ndio nasema ile sheria tulipitisha hapa juzi ambayo inaratibu utendakazi wa vyama vya ushirika inakuwa ni nzuri sana. Nikimalizia, kuna fedha ambazo zinapeanwa kwa wale wanakuza mazao, kwa kimombo inaitwa commodities fund. Ni vizuri pia iweze kufikia kila mtu. Nimeangalia jedwali lililotoka, Mr. Speaker, na kuangalia kati ya zile vyama vya ushirika ambazo ziliweza kupata ile fedha, nyingi zilitoka kwa county, si county zaidi ya 3. Unapata kuna county ambao vyama vya ushirika 4 vimepata milioni 300. Unapata county kama ya Nandi, Kirinyaga, Kericho hata moja haijapata. Mr. Speaker, ndio nasema wakati utaratibu unaangaliwa, wale wanafaa kufutiliwa mandeni kupitia taasisi ambayo inatoa fedha kwa wale wanaouza mazao. Ni vizuri tuangalie pia wale ambao pia wanatoa kahawa nyingi. Itakuwa ni aibu kwamba gatuzi kama Kirinyaga ambao sisi tunaongoza kutoa kahawa, hata shirika moja halikuweza kupata zile fedha. Ukiangalia katika eneo la Nyamira walipata tu chama ushirika moja tu ndio iliweza kupata. Katika Makwiny hakuna kitu niliona, katika Kitui hakuna hata moja, na Machakos na kwingineko. Kwa hivyo ningesema ya kwamba tusiwe na ubaguzi wakati tunapeana fedha ili tuweze kustawisha kilimo cha kahawa. Kwa zile gatuzi zetu wote wamelala. Unaangalia kwamba pesa ambazo zinapeanwa, hakuna county kati ya zile county 33 ambao wanafaa kutoa pesa fulani katika bajeti zao ziweze kustawisha kilimo cha kahawa. Unapata zote hakuna fedha inayokuwa mkulima wa kahawa. Unapata minanda ama mahali wanaenda kupeleka kahawa zao, wanaweka katika nyaya za kuku ambazo zinaanguka, na chakula kinafaa kiwe mahali ambapo kinawekwa katika mandhari nzuri ili wazungu waweze kununua. Ya kwamba akija kutembelea viwanda vingi vyetu vya kahawa, unapata wanapatana na hali ambayo usafi si mzuri sana. Ukiangalia zile matengi ambao wanaweka kahawa ni mbovu, vifaa vya kupakia kahawa haziko sawa. Kwa hivyo tungeuliza mangavana wapunguze matumbo, kwa sababu wao kazi yao ni kwenda na kutukashifu. Nashangaa sana, Mr. Speaker, tulizunguka na Senator Wakoli katika kaunti ya Bungoma. Unapata wale wakulima wa Bungoma hawafaidiki na lolote kutoka kwa gatuzi la Bungoma. Lakini gavana tulimuona juzi kule katika hali ya kutafuta nani atafunga paka kengele Kilifi, anatukashifu sisi kuliko angalie wakulima wa Bungoma. Na ukiangalia hiyo chaguo la watu ambao wanakemea tu seneti bila kufanya kazi yao, niliona kwa kumpa nafasi hiyo gavana ni sawa tu na watu ambao wamefiwa kutumiwa mtengeneza jeneza kuja kuomboleza na kulia na wao. Na hiyo inakuwa ni dhahiri kwamba haja kuja kulia na wale waliofiwa, amekuja biashara ya kuuza jeneza. Asante sana Mr. Speaker. Naunga mkono mswada ulioletwa na Senator Wakoli.
Now, honorable senators, having had that motion seconded, I will proceed to propose the question that the Senate adopts the report of the Mediation Committee on the Coffee Bill, Senate Bills number 10 of 2023, laid on the table of the Senate on Thursday, 4th of December 2025, and that pursuant to Article 113, Sub-Article 2 of the Constitution and Standing Order 167.3 of the Senate, approves the mediated version of the bill. This is now available, honorable senators, for your contribution, and I will call upon Senator Samson Cherargei to contribute to this bill.
Mr. Speaker, from the onset, I want to support this mediated version of the bill, Coffee Bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2023. And I want to thank Senator Kamau Murango, who was very instrumental in this bill, and also thank the chair of a mediated version, who was the vice chair to the National Assembly chair for this mediated version of the bill. So, Speaker, I'm happy finally the long work of anchoring the coffee bill into action or into an act of law has almost come finally to the end, where we expect the President to assent to this bill, Mr. Speaker, to support what we used to call guarantee minimum returns. So, Speaker, I know you are part of the people who drafted the UDA manifesto, and one of the things that we looked at is the guarantee minimum returns, and there were sector reforms for the information of Senator Wambua, is that there were sector reforms. One of the reforms was the tea sector, so Speaker, which we are still struggling, and I saw your region, KTDA, say 23 shillings per kilo, which is still very low. There was the issue of coffee, which we are looking at, the maize and the mung beans. So it is more than if you read our manifesto, and I'm willing to share with the distinguished commissioner and the distinguished deputy minority leader our manifesto, so that you see we are still on track. And I remember, Chair, you and Senator Okongo were NADCO. One of the issues you raised was how to create opportunities, not only in business, but also in agriculture sector, Mr. Speaker. And these are the reforms that we need to really see, Mr. Speaker. I know Nyamira. No, not on housing. We are today dealing with agriculture. Let us deal with one thing at a time, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this issue of coffee, you have had more than 30 counties depend on coffee. I'm informed even in your county, places like your constituency, Chepalungu, Ndanai, Nyamira, we have also Bungoma, Nandi, Mr. Speaker, and many other counties, including Kirinyaga, Kiambu. Most of these counties depend on coffee. And we have coffee, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, for the statistics of the House, are you aware 12.6% of the population of this world consume daily at least a cup of coffee, Mr. Speaker? And in fact, from the statistics that we have, this is approximately 1 billion people consume coffee, Mr. Speaker. So there is a huge market that we need to harness for the coffee, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, annually 10 billion kilograms of coffee is being consumed or sold annually, Mr. Speaker. So, Speaker, it's also important that the House knows that 66% of the Americans must take coffee, Mr. Speaker. It is like in the people who take the other drink that is not juice and water, kutoa lock with the indulgence of the standing orders, Mr. Speaker. So I want to confirm, Mr. Speaker, that the pricing, the issue of coffee is very important, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank the committees for our cleanup of the bill, Mr. Speaker. We have debated, we have passed, but I'm happy today my farmers in Nandi County will celebrate that finally their journey of receiving and getting a legal framework to assist them. And this is our work. Under Article 96, we are supposed to do oversight legislation representation. So legislation is our domain, Mr. Speaker, and I'm happy, for example, in Nandi, Mr. Speaker, virtually all counties, sub-counties grow coffee. For example, Tindret, we have Aldai, Mosop, Chesumei, Nandi Hills, Mr. Speaker, virtually, and even Mgwen, virtually, Mr. Speaker, virtually all of them grow coffee. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank a number of cooperative societies who are very instrumental in my county and across the country for ensuring that they support farmers. The issue of processing of coffee, Mr. Speaker, like when you go to Tindred, there is Kipsielo Cooperative Society, there is Kapsaos Cooperative Society, I think this one is in Aldai, there is Cherondo, Mr. Speaker, Cooperative Society Coffee, there is also Sarwat, Lengon, Mr. Speaker, and even Kabirer, just to name a few, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the World Bank because they supported us in building Chebonet milling, coffee milling factory, Chebonet, in Tindred sub-county, Mr. Speaker, for the support that they gave us as a county. But, Mr. Speaker, you know agriculture is devolved. And governance, these are the issues that we expected governors in Kilifi to go and discuss, Mr. Speaker. But they did not discuss these issues that we are discussing. Because this Chebonet milling coffee plant is not fully operational. Yet we were given money by World Bank, Mr. Speaker. Because the incompetence and the Sangmale administration has failed to operationalize this Chebonet coffee milling plant that should be maximized, that should ensure there is enough electricity to ensure the pulping and milling of our coffee is done in Chebonet milling coffee factory in Tindred sub-county, Nandi County, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, number 2 is on the issue of pricing. We are happy that at the moment, and I know colleagues, in fact, coffee is paying more than tea at the moment. For example, Mr. Speaker, the pricing ranges between 52 shillings to 1,150 shillings per kilo and more. And even in specialized beans, Mr. Speaker, 500 grams go up to 2,400 shillings, Mr. Speaker, depending who is. So the issue of pricing, Mr. Speaker, and I'm happy that this issue of pricing must be resolved once and for all so that there is stability and value. Mr. Speaker, we want to see the issue of foreign exchange honor. Coffee, I know we were discussing issue of, Mr. Speaker, the issue of our Kenyans who are watching abroad, Mr. Speaker, working. Mr. Speaker, are you aware that in the last few months, Kenyans who work outside, live and work, are giving this country close to 1 trillion Kenyan shillings? Mr. Speaker, and that is why when I saw Senator Wambua being passionate, is that in fact, are you aware, the foreign exchange from our Kenyans outside the country are giving us the top honor, earnings more than tea and coffee, our traditional foreign exchange. In fact, in future, Mr. Speaker, we must think even of coming with a full-fledged Ministry of Foreign Affairs, of Diaspora Affairs. We need a fully fledged, because if you are having one revenue stream giving to a country almost 1 trillion Kenya shillings, that revenue must be guided, Mr. Speaker, and I want to appeal that it should look like. Mr. Speaker, finally, on the issue of security, Mr. Speaker, I don't know whether your county is suffering from this, but Mr. Speaker, we have seen a reemergence of gangs. Mr. Speaker, last year I buried 3 people who were killed for guarding the stores where the coffee beans of farmers in Tindred sub-county, Mr. Speaker. Up to today, police have done absolutely nothing to apprehend for the people who were killed in Tindred sub-county while they were guarding our coffee beans, Mr. Speaker. You remember the famous story of Chepkube during Kenyatta 1 era, Mr. Speaker. These are black gold. Mr. Speaker, I was told even the other day, a lorry that was ferrying coffee beans was attacked somewhere in Timborwa, between Timborwa and Ban Forest, and they went away, Mr. Speaker. We are having a reemergence of coffee theft. I know I'm aware Senator Murango should be very keen with this because the central Kenya was suffering from coffee theft, Mr. Speaker. I want to appeal. I know the Inspector General of Police had formed what we call anti-stock theft police unit, Mr. Speaker. We have formed even the one Ngapu for chiefs. The police must form anti-coffee theft police unit to protect our factories and stores where coffee is being stored, Mr. Speaker. I buried and another were injured, Mr. Speaker. No one has been arrested. This is a black gold. Coffee now, it is more than gold, Senator. I know Kitui also has some of these issues, but we must come out, Mr. Speaker. And I know, Mr. Speaker, you have told me, Bomet, you have started planting coffee. I want to warn you in advance that these people are unfair to farmers. They wait for farmers to suffer. You harvest, you do pulping. When you are put in the bags, gunny bags, to be taken to the market, that is when thieves strike, Mr. Speaker. And the sad, Mr. Speaker, with these thieves, they normally kill. They don't only take the bills, Mr. Speaker. So the police, the Inspector General of Police has powers, and I'll bring a motion, Mr. Speaker, that we need to form anti-coffee theft police unit specifically to deal with the issue of police that can be, because we have diplomatic police unit. We don't have parliament police unit. I don't know whether that one has been formed. We have a VIP protection police unit to protect us. Mr. Speaker, why should you be protected by police if you are not stolen anything from Kenyans? I saw the former governor of makwiny eating madondo, as is known in the streets land, and chapati. And people are saying, see, this is the man who never touched anything that belongs to the people, and that is why he can work freely, and he teaches, Mr. Speaker. So this issue, finally, on the issue of coffee cherry fund, Mr. Speaker, we must be very keen to ensure that this coffee revolving cherry fund is given. We want to see Kitui, we want to see other counties being part of the counties that grow coffee. The future of farmers, the future of farming is in coffee. Mr. Speaker, the issue of tea, you know, has been a problem. But Kenyans are now refocused on the issue of coffee. And I want to say, Mr. Speaker, appeal to the Agriculture Committee, to the President, Mr. Speaker, that when we finish with coffee, we must also finish with the issue of coffee sector reforms, Mr. Speaker. I remember we were with you in Kericho trying to crack the whip on the issue of coffee. We need to also discuss the issue of mango beans. The issue of, I'm told in Ukambani, it is the season of mangoes. Mr. Speaker, they are going wasted. We need to ensure that we give value addition. Those are the issues, Mr. Speaker, that governor should be discussing. I expected Governor Malombe to be discussing on how the issue of mangoes is being processed, value addition, so that juice from mango can be taken in this parliament, Mr. Speaker. I always feel bad that the juice we take in parliament's restaurant is imported from South Africa and other countries. Yet here in Ukambani, I know you can say Del Monte, but it's not sufficient enough. Yet here in Ukambani, our mangoes are rotting day and night. Mr. Speaker, they are busy concentrating on sand cartels, where, you know, Mr. Speaker, I know you are built in some part of your life, either your house or here. Most of the sand that you used to build comes from Kitui. But can you know, sand does not give value for the people of Kitui as we talk today. We need this conversation. I expect that our governors from the region where coffee is grown, including Nandi, should have discussed how we can do value addition. By the time my coffee leaves Kipchele Coffee Factory, Cabrera Coffee Society, or even Jebonet, Mr. Speaker, it should be ready to be consumed. Why are we exporting raw to be done value addition for companies that are in America, Mr. Speaker? The name is getting away from me. There is a company that sells coffee, although we have Java here, and there is one in America. There is a name, it's getting lost, and I can see Clark who has stayed in some part of that world knows. Mr. Speaker, so we are trying to, Starbucks, yes, Starbucks, thank you for that information. Starbucks, Mr. Speaker, and it looks a number of my colleagues have traveled around the world, and that is why they know some of those destinations, Starbucks coffee. And they go and do value addition. You have seen even Java, they do value addition. But the value to Mukulima or the farmer in Kirinyaga is not replicated with the pricing that we are getting at the value, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I am happy. The 50th point is that I think Nairobi Stock Exchange, we need now to trade coffee, Mr. Speaker, so that we get the NSC, the issue of Nairobi Stock Exchange, Mr. Speaker. And I want to thank the President, Mr. Speaker. I have seen he has come to rescue Nairobi City County by signing a cooperation pact, Mr. Speaker, because Nairobi City County was suffering from poor development and poor service delivery. I'm happy the President has seized the moment and taken some of the functions to assist Nairobi, Mr. Speaker. You know, Nairobi City County, the reason I'm talking about is Nairobi Stock Exchange is located in this city. Nairobi City County, Mr. Speaker, 1 is the face of Kenya. 2 is the capital city. 3, it hosts most of the critical international agencies, Mr. Speaker. So we need a Nairobi City County that is functional, that is accessible, Mr. Speaker, so that we can see the value of Nairobi, Mr. Speaker. And I think in future, Mr. Speaker, you are a lawyer of long standing. And I expected you to learn for the LSK president, but I didn't see your name. I would have voted for you on Thursday when LSK elections will be done. Is that Nairobi City County, we must sit, Senator Wambua, and my chair of county public accounts. We must sit and see if we can amend the constitution, Mr. Speaker, to allow Nairobi to be run as a metropolis by the national government. Because you can see, by the time Governor Sakaja had to go and request help from President William Ruto to run Nairobi City County, it is not easy. We understand this county is clogging with poor drainage network, poor planning, Mr. Speaker. Many issues is going wrong, corruption and many other things. Mr. Speaker, those are some of the issues because Nairobi is a very critical point in this and we thank the President. Mr. Speaker, the role of, I have seen another important point, colleagues, is the role of Attorney General. I want to call out the AG, Mr. Speaker, because most of the bills, you heard the majority leader say this, most of the bills that come to the Senate, they don't include the role of devolution. It took the mediation committee, Mr. Speaker, to go and amend and put the role of county governments. Yet agriculture is involved, Mr. Speaker. I want to ask the Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya, or the people in state law office, it looks like their mentality is still stuck before devolution. They should be aware on Chapter 11 on the principles of devolution. Any bill, and I want to appeal to colleagues, any bill that comes to the Senate without a clear role of devolution, we must reject that bill pronto. That is the only way we can do, Mr. Speaker. That is the only way. Because the 4th schedule allows, and the Attorney General and the state law office must be made aware to this, Mr. Speaker. So as the coffee farmers, Mr. Speaker, you know, in conclusion, I've seen the Senator delegation of Nairobi. You know, one of the way people get married or do dating, they must go to coffee dates. So coffee farmers have been very supportive, Mr. Speaker, towards many marriages and relationships. Because when they ensure coffee is grown, you can take somebody to coffee date, Mr. Speaker. The only mistake I have with the Russian guy is he never took anybody to coffee date. I don't know because there is no coffee in Russia, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I want to appeal that as a country, we need to protect our people, Mr. Speaker, from these international people, Mr. Speaker. We need women leaders to come out, Senator Beatrice Ogola, and be the leading light to ensure our girls and women are not taken advantage of, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank the CS of Gender who has ordered that the Russian man should be tracked. But I want to thank Ghana. Mr. Speaker, as you told, Ghana has issued a red alert on the purported Russian guy and even pushing for extradition of the individual who took advantage of our women and girls, Mr. Speaker. And that is why Kenya should also do, I know Russia does not support extradition. I know you as a lawyer, you know the process of extradition is a lengthy and long process. But that Russian should not leave Kenya. He should be tried in Kenya. He should be locked in Kenya, Mr. Speaker, because that offense is offense under Sexual Offences Act, Mr. Speaker, because just using true words like, you are beautiful, can we go, I speak broken English, and that is it, Mr. Speaker, it's very unfortunate. Mr. Speaker, with those many remarks, I want to tell coffee farmers that this is your gift for this new year. Mr. Speaker, remember all the senators who participated in passing this coffee bill when it comes to 2027 during voting, including you for presiding over the House, especially on the issues of coffee matters. And Mr. Speaker, I know you are a generous man. When we pass this bill, invite us for our coffee dates so that we can celebrate by drinking more coffee. I yield back, Mr. Speaker, and I support.
Senator Cherargei, you can be sure that that will be available because we want to brand and market our coffee. 2 is, it could not have been available for the chair to vie for the Law Society of Kenya presidency, but I invite you to elect someone who is honorable, professional, responsible, who will take Law Society of Kenya to the next level, comes Thursday next week. They have campaigned, and you know the best candidate ought to be given the opportunity to serve the society. Senator Wambua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I stand here in support of the work done by the Mediation Committee on the Coffee Bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2023. And Mr. Speaker, I want to thank that committee, comprising members from the Senate and the National Assembly, for coming up with a version of a bill that is reasonable and that is acceptable to both houses of Parliament. The Speaker, in fulfillment of our Standing Orders 166, the committee has discharged its responsibility and done it well. Mr. Speaker, I want to single out Senator of Kitengela, Senator Morango, who at some point was the chair of my committee where I used to sit, the Committee of Agriculture, for passionately pushing forward the agenda of the Kenyan farmers, and especially the coffee farmers and macadamia farmers. And remind him, Mr. Speaker, that at some point 2 years ago, Senator Morango gave me 4 seedlings of coffee that I went to plant in Kitui. And I decided to do a very serious experiment. I planted the 4 seedlings and just let them fight the battle. I did not give them any special treatment. I did not spray them. I did not water them during the dry season. And the Speaker, I'm here to tell Senator Morango that 3 of those seedlings have now given fruit in a dry place called Kitui. So, Mr. Speaker, what am I saying? I'm saying that we must stop to listen and believe in the lies that coffee can only survive in certain areas. With proper care, we can produce enough coffee, not just for ourselves, but for the world market, and produce very quality coffee. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, I want to congratulate the coffee farmers in Kenya. That now a law has been passed, and we do expect that the President shall assent to the law, the bill to become law, that our coffee farmers will begin to reap the full benefits of their produce. I've been on record in different fora complaining to the Speaker that a lot of coffee farmers work very, very hard, but very few of them can afford instant coffee. The Speaker, with the new regulation, the new law, I do hope that the market shall be properly regulated and that it puts the coffee farmer at the center of the coffee business, So that even as middlemen and traders in coffee and coffee products benefit at the local level, at the regional level, at the international level, the coffee farmer will get their due benefits. Now, Speaker, I want to draw the attention of this House to a level of mistreatment meted on coffee farmers from a region in Ukambani called Matungulu in Machakos County. At some point, the Speaker, and the records will bear me out, the coffee farmers of Matungulu in Machakos County consistently produce the best quality coffee in the country. But the Speaker, when it comes to the sharing of the coffee cherry fund, those farmers, Mr. Speaker, have been overlooked. So, Speaker, I want to call upon the Agriculture Committee to take it upon themselves, Mr. Speaker, to visit those small-scale farmers who are producing top quality coffee in this country and this region, in Matungulu, and see how best these farmers can be helped to continue to do what they know how to do best. The Speaker, having said that about the coffee farmers and the produce, the Speaker, I made reference to our own standing orders 166 on the establishment of mediation committees. And Mr. Speaker, it shall be remembered that I have been very, very consistent on the need to push the mung beans bill to become law so that Dengu farmers can also benefit from support by both national government and county governments. The Speaker, let it go on record today that this information that was spilled out there, that the bill sought to punish Dengu farmers, was very, very misleading, Mr. Speaker, and very, very unfortunate. In a country, Mr. Speaker, where those who are perpetrating that argument could just simply have made reference to the published bill and realize that there's nothing that was punitive about the mung beans farmers. The Speaker, in the wisdom of the leadership of both houses of Parliament, both the National Assembly and the Senate, a mediation committee has been put in place. That mediation committee, Mr. Speaker, has not had opportunity to meet. Our own standing orders are very clear, Mr. Speaker, and I want to read it. Mediation Committee Standing Order 166-6. If the Mediation Committee fails to agree on a version of the bill within 30 days of the appointment of the committee by the speakers of the houses under paragraph 2, or if a version proposed by the committee is rejected by either house, the bill is defeated. Mr. Speaker, I do not want to cast aspersions on my colleagues, but it's very, very unfortunate, Mr. Speaker, that now we are nearing the 30 days for the expiry of the mediation committee on the mung beans bill to sit and consider the bill. Mr. Speaker, I want to say this. Somebody maybe thought that this mung beans bill is about Kitui County or Makwiny or Machakos. It is not. Mung beans are grown in not less than 37 counties in this country. And Mr. Speaker, if there are people who have a problem with supporting Dengu farmers in this country, Mr. Speaker, I will let that matter rest there. But give the assurance to those people who are the real enemies of Dengu farmers in this country that when God allows Senator Enoch Wambua to become the next governor of Kitui County, the first county law that we are going to pass will be the Mang Beans Bill to help our farmers and to give them support from our government. I will leave the rest to the senators who grow dengue, who have dengue farming taking place in their counties, to decide what they want to do with their farmers. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, as we celebrate the achievements that this new law will accrue to the coffee farmers, Senator Cherargei has made reference to conversations that are taking place among county governors. For those county governors, Mr. Speaker, that grow coffee in their counties, we ask them to move with speed and make sure that once this bill becomes law, then they are able to do their bit in supporting their farmers to get the full benefits of this crop. The Speaker, Cherargei, has also mentioned, Senator, that coffee is the gold of the counties that grow the crop. And he has even tried to invoke your name, Mr. Speaker, in that debate in the construction industry, and making reference to your involvement in constructions either here or in Bomet, Mr. Speaker. But the one thing that he has said, which is true, is that for us, Mr. Speaker, the building, the storage building that you are putting up now, Mr. Speaker, the sand that you're using is a gold that comes from Kitui County. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, the people of Kitui don't get the benefits of that gold. There is no county in this country, Mr. Speaker, that exports as much product or produce as Kitui does with the sand. Over 200 trucks of sand from Kitui every day. Mr. Speaker, even the coffee that is produced and generated from all the counties that grow coffee, even that coffee is not even half the amount of sand that comes from Kitui County. But unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, the proceeds from that sand just goes to the pockets of a well-organized cartel. Now, Speaker, with your permission, because I don't want to belabor that point, this week on Thursday, I shall be requesting you to allow me to issue a personal statement on that matter. Because under our watch, in our time, Kitui County is being turned into a desert by a cartel of greedy and selfish individuals who don't care about the future of our county. The Speaker, with those many remarks, I support the motion and urge my colleagues to give a nod to this mediated version of the coffee bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2023. The Speaker, I support.
Thank you, Senator Kio Wambua, for your contribution. Now, Honorable Senators, I'll call upon Senator Moses Kajwang to contribute as well as to reply, because from my dashboard I've got no other request other than Senator Kamar, who've just requested. I had been notified that Senator Kajwang will reply on behalf of the mover of the motion. And so I will then ask you to step down so that Senator Kamar can make her contribution. Then I'll call you the last, so that as you submit your comments, you reply on behalf of Senator Wakoli. Senator Kamar.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think the new cadets are still unstable because I had pressed it and then it goes off and on. But thank you for being very considerate to allow me to add my voice to this. I thank you because I was a member of the mediation committee, and where am I? Am I heard?
Senator Kamari, you are loud enough. You
okay.
Maybe
you, Mr. Speaker.
Maybe I'll ask Senator Murango to either be a decent neighbor or cross us over the aisle to where he normally sits.
You did too much
so that
IT.
you can hear Senator Kamar in silence. Proceed, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to really thank the members of the mediation committee, led by the Senator Murango, who educated us a lot about the coffee sector. And when you look at the number of declining that was done by Senate, it's because we became very much educated and were able to really understand a number of the things that were being discussed there. I'm saying this because some of us, though we are BSc agriculture, did not do much in coffee. And coffee is a new crop in Uasin Gishu. I come from a county that has been feeding this nation for a very long time, getting a maximum of 20,000 shillings per acre. But in the recent times, when coffee spread to North Rift, Mr. Speaker, we were very surprised that there is a crop that can give you up to 800,000, 900,000. Murango told me 1 million plus per acre. And this is really something new to that region. But I really want to thank the coffee sector also, the new KPCU, for spreading wings and moving to Western Kenya and North Rift. As of course, I think they were in South Rift already. But there are so many things that this bill has presented. And a good number of them are bringing in the management of the crop. To those of us who are beginners, we are very delighted with the fact that the bill is going to continue to promote evidence-based coffee research so that we have research for every region of this country. Mr. Speaker, coffee can be one of the best earners of foreign exchange in the country, Kenya. We know that when the regulations were relaxed a little bit so that farmers can also process and export their coffee, people are actually amazed that they can sell even, they can export their coffee for much higher than the 1 million we are talking about when we only bulb the crop. Also, one of the areas that had been ignored for a very long time, which is being brought in by this bill, is the extension services. Extension services are extremely important because not everybody who did BSc agriculture in any of our universities concentrated on one crop. So it was general and everybody was doing general crops. So we need a new team of extension workers that can deal with coffee, right from the disease prevention to everything coffee management, including the soils analysis so that we plant the right coffee seedlings in the right places in our farms. So it is really very, very encouraging that this bill is going to promote again a farmer-centered way of managing a crop, because this bill is focusing on how the farmers can reap the most, and it's also focusing on how farmers can be trained to do value addition. This is something that's extremely important. We have talked of value addition. We have talked of Kenya and even the whole continent of Africa suffering from selling raw material always. And coffee is one of those that used to be sold when it is in raw material. So we need to reach the value, the highest level of value addition so that we can retain the jobs here and we can retain also technology here. And if there is need for technology transfer, it's only when we are ready to maximize on value addition. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank my colleagues who were in the committee led by Senator Murango for the decline, because it also educated the other members and made the members of the National Assembly understand why the Senate was focusing on this the way they were focusing. Again, I like the fact that this Senate is looking at the sectors that have been devolved very seriously, and since agriculture is devolved, then we don't just follow what has been rejected, but look at it and explain to them. And I saw this in the mediation, that our team was able to explain calmly and to convince the members of the National Assembly that some of the amendments they were introducing were either not necessary or were not bringing any value to the bill. So with those remarks, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you and thank the committee and support this report. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Kamar. Now, Senator Kajwang, Senator A.C. Okenyuri has also desired to speak. If you are mindful of me letting her speak, fine, I could just allow you to contribute. Okay, fine. Senator A.C. Senator Kajwang has been gracious enough to...
thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I just want to appreciate the consideration by Senator Kajwang. Just remembered something that I need to highlight. I'm one of the members who sat in this mediation committee. And to bring to the attention of members is that most of the very critical challenges we've been having with farmers in those societies is to do with administration. We have people who are generally mismanaging that management sector. And I thought this is a good thing because the proposal here is to ensure people are running the management system of coffee are guys who are qualified, who have gone to school. Because for you to be in the management board, you need to have a degree, over 5 years experience. I want to believe that this is a very good and progressive proposal because we are not just going to have people with no knowledge in that sector. These are people who specifically should be knowledgeable in the coffee sector so that even if they are going to engage in management, they know very well what they are doing and what consequences lie if they do otherwise. But generally, I wish to also thank the members of this committee for it really took us a very long time to agree. Having sat in the mediation committee really also gives me exposure to how people think differently. Though our colleagues from the National Assembly would dispute on certain basic things, and I was just wondering why they might not read from the Senate side of things, but now being mediation, at some point we equally had to agree on whatever the report actually shows. So I thank my colleague members and I wish that members support this because this is one way we are going to sort out the mess that we have experienced for quite some time. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Moses Kajwang.
Mr. Speaker, with the authority and concurrence of the chair and with the instructions of the mover of the motion, I beg to reply. And Mr. Speaker, as I reply, allow me to make some brief comments. First of all, this House must congratulate the mover, the initial mover or the initial sponsor of this bill, and that was Senator Murango. And Mr. Speaker, it's very difficult to get a law, to get a bill converted into a law in this current bicameral setup. It now appears that you need an average of 3 years for a legislative proposal to get to the point where there is agreement on it. And Mr. Speaker, now that the mediation committee that comprised members from both houses of parliament have agreed on a version that is acceptable, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank members who have debated and who have agreed that we take the amendments that have been suggested by the National Assembly. Mr. Speaker, this is the true lawmaking, that the Senate can originate a bill or the National Assembly can originate a bill, and if there is disagreement, we don't fight in public or we don't insult each other. We sit in mediation, go clause by clause, and ensure that we are in agreement on the final outcome. And Mr. Speaker, I really look
And I hope that the head of state is going to assent to this bill immediately the two houses dispense with this motion. And I want to call on Senator Murangwa that despite whatever political convictions you might have, this is such an important bill that you might need to be present at State House to witness its assent because you have fought for the farmers, you have fought for the coffee farmers. When you are my chair in the Agriculture Committee, you spoke with passion about the fate of agriculture and the fate of farmers in this country. Mr. Speaker, we know Senator Murangwa has even gone to court to ensure that our economy is not flooded with cheap rice imports that would kill the farmers of Mwea, the farmers of Kano, the farmers of Ahero. So Senator Murangwa, this one, go to State House. This one, witness the signing. This one, demand to take the pen that has been used to sign that particular piece of legislation, because that is a parliamentary tradition that when you come up with such a good legislative proposal, you need to be there when it's being assented. The issues of politics we can set aside for purposes of this bill. Mr. Speaker, just talking to a few of the issues that were in contention, or just the broad features of this bill, because perhaps there could be Kenyans listening today who have not followed the debate on this particular coffee bill. Mr. Speaker, this bill brings back the Coffee Board of Kenya and establishes a coffee research training institute. Mr. Speaker, we must have a conversation with the CS responsible for agriculture and the Council of Governors to ensure that we have clarity on our strategic objective and our strategic direction for the agriculture sector. Mr. Speaker, at some point, we established one super agency called the AFA, Agriculture, Food, Fisheries Authority. And that was established during the Mwai Kibaki days. And Vision 2030 and this Vision Singapore, Mr. Speaker, are not too far apart. But we have torn apart what we established under AFA. The first sector to devolve from AFA was fisheries. I was in this house, Mr. Speaker, when we, in 2016, sponsored the Fisheries Management and Development Act, because we felt that AFA was not providing that visibility and that special care for fish farmers in this country. Mr. Speaker, even though we've got a very elegant piece of legislation supported by regulations, we established the Kenya Fisheries Service, we established the Kenya Fish Marketing Authority, we established a Fish Research Institute, we even established a Fish Levy Fund. Today, Mr. Speaker, that legislation has not been fully implemented, and we are still stuck on regulations. And that is why I was quite keen to see that we are not leaving too much to regulations in this particular proposal. Because when you leave too much to regulations, the regulation-making entities sometimes take too long to bring regulations to this House. And so they render the hard work of senators and members of National Assembly to be useless for lack of regulations. After fisheries, Mr. Speaker, tea devolved. Cotton devolved. Senator Beth Siengo brought a cotton industry development bill. And Mr. Speaker, what was unfortunate was after this House had painstakingly gone through the cotton industry development bill, and you know, Senator Murangwa has just reminded me that 30% of Kenya's soil is called black cotton soil. So it tells you that in 30% of this country, we could be growing cotton. Instead of importing cotton from Egypt to feed the industries in Athi River that take things for AGOA in the United States, it is possible for us to produce cotton. And so, Speaker, what did the Cabinet Secretary do? The Cabinet Secretary then initiated a presidential memorandum to say that it is not part of the government's strategic policy direction to establish additional state corporations. And as a result, the presidential memorandum was asking Parliament to undo whatever the cotton industry development bill was proposing. And Mr. Speaker, for those of us who hail from areas with black cotton soil, the question was, when we were divesting tea from AFA, there was no problem about state corporations. When we were divesting dairy, there was no problem about too many state corporations. When you are divesting sugar, when you are divesting other products, why is it that when you are divesting cotton, that is when there's concern that there is crawl, there is too much, there are too many state corporations being established. Mr. Speaker, I hope that we are not going to get those kind of arguments in this particular case, because the Coffee Board of Kenya, the Coffee Research Training Institute, one might consider them to be additional state corporations. But Mr. Speaker, the impact they have on the economy of our country must not be looked at from the simple lens of additional CEOs or additional drivers or additional bureaucracy. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the economic impact of coffee, and if you look at what we used to do in coffee and what we can do, it does not matter whether you set up some institute or you set up some board, because if it brings proper alignment of that sector, the benefits are going to outstrip the cost. Mr. Speaker, so this is one conversation that the national government should have with the Senate. We would be very happy to review the sessional paper on agriculture. In 2021, there was a policy statement on agriculture sector that was brought to this House. But Mr. Speaker, you know that 2021 and the administration that is in place right now, the priorities might have changed. I was quite happy when I listened to the President when he addressed Parliament not too long ago, when he talked about his new focus. And he talked about food security. He talked about making sure that we harvest water, we put up these super dams, we take advantage of large-scale agriculture. Yes, that is important, but we must also focus on the smallholders. And so I believe that this is part of the President's focus, and the CS for agriculture should make it easy by coming here, explaining the government's policy on agriculture, and we can bring the Council of Governors on board. Those are the kind of conversations we'd love to have with the governors. Mr. Speaker, as I wind down my reply, I've already said that let's not leave too much to regulation. It is becoming a concern not just in Kenya, but across the Commonwealth. It is now being referred to as skeleton legislation, that members of parliament have become so lazy that they will do the skeleton, and for the flesh, they will leave it to the cabinet secretaries or to the regulators. Mr. Speaker, that can pose a problem, because a number of the regulations, we have seen regulations that have taken force without coming to parliament. But on the other hand, we have also seen cases where parliament requires regulations be brought within a certain time frame, and that is not done. And Mr. Speaker, I recall there was one piece of legislation we passed, or we debated in this House. It was part of the NADCO bills that was going to put clear timelines and provide clear consequences to regulation-making entities that do not do what they need to do in good time. Mr. Speaker, the CS in charge of cooperatives, CS Oparanya, has been walking around talking to cooperatives and trying to revive coffee cooperatives. Of course, there's still the issue of outstanding loans that some of these cooperatives hold. But Mr. Speaker, CS Oparanya, for those of us who have met him in his office and in other events, has made it clear that there was a colonial notion that coffee could only grow in certain parts of the country. There was this colonial notion that even tea could only grow in areas called the White Highlands. Mr. Speaker, Homa Bay County is a coffee producer. In the year 2023-2024, we produced 629 bags. And Mr. Speaker, 629 bags fetched our farmers close to 20 million. And if you look at the value per bag, it's almost 10 times the value you're getting from maize. Some parts of this country, due to many, many reasons, due to a colonial mindset, Mr. Speaker, some parts of this country are still stuck with what we call poverty crops. Senator Morango has just simulated to me how a coffee farmer on 1 acre can make 1 million shillings a year. We who come from the sugar belt, Senator Beatrice Ogola and I, Senator Ogola, you know that what you call a successful sugarcane farmer, for you to make 300,000 shillings per acre a year, you have to be extremely lucky. Why are some regions of this country stuck with poverty crops while the real cash crops are still left?
When Chair Morango was the chair agriculture, I remember there's a time he mentioned to me, he whispered that he was on his way to Costa Rica. That was Colombia. And when did Moses Kajwang, Senator Moses Kajwang and my senior Kirei to go to? Costa Rica. I think both the countries have a lot of, did a lot of learning from Kenya. But we are still lagging behind. So we go back to your request has been approved to put the question during the next sitting. So clerk, we go to order number, back to order number 10.
Order number 10, the Kenya National Council for Population and Development Bill, National Assembly Bills number 72 of 2023, second reading, resumption of debate, mover to reply.
Okay, if my eyes are serving me well, I think I can see the majority leader is not here to reply, so I still defer that business. We go to order number 13.
Order number 13, motion, consideration of the report of the Standing Committee on Labor and Social Welfare on a petition to the Senate by employees of the former Kenya Cooperative Creameries Limited, KCC, concerning non-payment of outstanding terminal benefits and Maziwa Sacco dues to former employees of Kenya Cooperative Creameries Limited.
This motion is to be moved by the Chair, Standing Committee on Labor and Social Welfare. I can see it's not in the House. And honorable senators, when I look at this on the paper, even going to order number 14, 15, 16, 17, the mover is here, but chairing the session, 18, 19, and 20. The owners of all these bills and motions are not in the House. And therefore, I defer this business until the next sitting. Therefore, senators, we can rise. Yes, Senator Murango, you want to say something?
Mr. Speaker, najua chenye nataka kuuliza iko katika ratiba ya leo, lakini nitauliza tu ili uweze kunielekeza. Mr. Speaker, nimeona juzi nimeletewa ombi kutoka kwa wanaotumia maji katika eneo la Kirinyaga, wakulima tofauti na pia watu wanaotumia maji manyumbani, kwamba kutokana na zile kanuni ambazo zilipitishwa kutoka kamati inayohusika na kanuni, that delegated legislation katika jumba la Seneti, taasisi ya Walma imeongeza bei ya maji Kenya nzima. Maji ambayo ilikuwa inalipwa lita 1000 sumni, sasa inalipwa shilingi 2 na sumni, na imewambidi wameelekezwa lazima weke mita zile vipimo vya kupima maji upya. Na mbeleni walikuwa nalipa 7500, saa hii ni kutoka kuanzia 180,000 hadi nusu milioni ambayo wakulima hawezi kumudu. Mr. Speaker, kupatia ngamia na mbuzi maji saa hii unafaa uanze kulipia. Kwa hivyo, Mr. Speaker, swali ambalo nilikuwa nataka kuuliza ili utaweza utanielekeza siku ingine ama leo. Inawezekana kwamba hizi kanuni zinapokuja katika bunge la Seneti, kamati inayohusika hata kama imekubaliana na kila kitu, waweze kuleta ripoti baadhi yetu ambao tuko na wakulima na kama hao tuweze kusikiza na kuchangia, kwa sababu hiyo nafasi hatuna. Asante Mr. Speaker.
Bwana Senator Murango, ni vyema ripoti hizo zinaletwa katika nyumba la Seneti. Lakini hii kamati ya delegated legislation huwa nimeona kwa miaka mingi, wakati wanakubaliana na hoja yote wanapitisha bila kurudi kwa nyumba. Wakikataa wanakatalia katika kikao chao na waleti katika bunge. Na mimi naona ni vizuri vile umesema tubandilishe kanuni za Seneti na hasa za bunge lote, sababu vivyo hivyo ndivyo hufanyika katika ile bunge geni la taifa. Ndio ripoti yoyote kama ni kukubaliana na mwenye kuzileta zile kanuni ama kukataa, naona ziwe zinafika katika hii nyumba ndio tuweze pia kuhusika nazo. Na pia wao wanaenda kwa wananchi, ile tunaita kuhusisha wananchi, public participation. Kama wanapitisha ama wapitishi, iwe inapita katika public participation, sababu nguvu ya kukataa ama kupitisha sheria wamepewa nguvu mingi sana. bila kuuzisha nyumba ama bila kuuzisha wananchi. Kwa hivyo mimi naona naelekeza kwamba baadaye tutaweza kubadilisha kanuni za seneti ndio tuweze kupata hizo ripoti moja kwa moja. Senator Chalige, but I was giving a communication, a very good communication, very accurate.
Just Speaker.
So why are we opening this discussion again? You can see the sergeant at arms are upstanding because I did some communication already. Even the mics are already tired.
No, they are not. I thought they are new, Mr. Speaker. They are new but inefficient, Mr. Speaker.
For the day, because I pronounced
yes,
that
Mr. Speaker. The sergeant at arms need to relax. They should be at ease until you stand. Mr. Speaker, I agree with your communication, but I just wanted to be specific with those regulations that are in operation in terms of increment of water tariffs. I know you have said under the Instruments Act, everything or all regulations must come to Parliament. Mr. Speaker, you have to appreciate some of the policymakers, including Cabinet Minister, think that Parliament is National Assembly, which is contrary to Article 93, that Parliament is National Assembly and the Senate. Mr. Speaker, maybe just so that I agree with your direction, but in addition, these three regulations, like Water Services Regulation 2025, Legal Notice number 54, Water Harvesting and Storage Regulation 2025, Legal Notice number 57, Water Resources Regulation 2021, Legal Notice number 58. Speaker, if as you give direction, if they can bring this specifically, it would be very important because you know, Speaker, water is life. And if the increment of water goes up, Mr. Speaker, you see, even you saw in Uasin Gishu County government the other day, they increased water by 100% because of this regulation. So if you are paying 200 shillings, you ended up paying 2,000. And you saw the protest when there was in Gishu County government through Eldoret Water and Sanitation Company, increased water, Mr. Speaker. Water is one of the commodities that should be free, clean, and available to each and every Kenyan, Mr. Speaker. So the only thing in this country looks like that the price cannot go up is only salt, because everything is going up. But on this, Mr. Speaker, I thank you for your guidance and your experience that the chair of delegated legislation, Senator Gataya, should be directed to come with the, I know Senator Kajwang understands this, and of course Murango, that if these regulations are enforced, the committee, Mr. Speaker, through your guidance, has power to declare it null and void and unenforceable within the Republic of Kenya, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I thank you for your Solomonic direction. We stand guided, but kindly, on behalf of Kenyans, on behalf of the great people of Meru, the Njurin Jeke who gave you mate and everything, please stand with Kenyans. I yield back, Mr. Speaker.
Last but not the last, Senator Moses Kajwang.
Mr. Speaker, you have made a very, very profound communication on this particular matter of statutory instruments. Mr. Speaker, I've always told my friend Senator Gataya that he chairs perhaps the most powerful committee in this House, the most powerful committee, because it's his committee that is supposed to go through statutory instruments. And for avoidance of doubt, Mr. Speaker, statutory instrument means any rule, order, regulation, direction, form, tariff of costs or fees, letters patent, commission, warrant, proclamation, bylaw, resolution, guideline, or other statutory instrument issued, made, or established in the execution of a power conferred by or under an act of Parliament, under which that statutory instrument or subsidiary legislation is expressly authorized to be issued. Mr. Speaker, subsidiary legislation is now becoming more than primary legislation. And what I called earlier, the laziness of legislatures across the Commonwealth. And Mr. Speaker, I know when you go for meetings of the Commonwealth and the IPU, you will hear of this trend of legislators doing skeleton legislation and leaving subsidiary legislation to ministers and to people who head regulatory bodies. Mr. Speaker, I just want to request that as you have advised, that we could amend Section 15 of the Delegated Legislation Act. Because, Mr. Speaker, Section 15, and we must not impute any improper motive on the chair of that committee. The Act does not oblige him to bring a report back to the House, Mr. Speaker, as you have rightly stated. And that is in Section 15. So you could advise that we relook at Section 15. The second thing that we have not resolved, Mr. Speaker, is when the two houses disagree on a regulation. Mr. Speaker, when the two houses disagree on a regulation, and we have had this, the regulations on this other fund, what do we call this other fund for marginalization? The regulations and the marginalization fund, Mr. Speaker. We had a case
similar to equalization fund.
Sorry, equalization fund. I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker. There was a situation where the two houses were having different views on it. We have had cases where the National Assembly takes view X on a regulation, Senate takes view Y. We have no proper mechanisms for mediation. That is something that we could also deal with. And finally, where a regulation-making authority delays in bringing regulations to this House, what do we do to them? So, Mr. Speaker, this is profound, and the fact that we have established that almost every other regulation needs to come to Parliament, which means the Senate and National Assembly, makes this House a powerful House, and we must support our brothers and sisters in that committee with the necessary amendments. Because, Mr. Speaker, you wake up and you hear that the tariffs on the expressway have just changed overnight. You wake up, you hear that tariffs on water have just changed overnight. No taxation without representation. That was the basic principle upon which certain civilizations were established. So, Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to congratulate your direction and maybe to challenge the committee to look at these additional points on subsidiary legislation.
I think, Senators, that was a very good, what Senator Murango requested to be advised is a good
be a return on their investment, and there's going to be a certain market at the end of the day. The reason why we are stuck with sugarcane, which is a poverty crop, is that at least you know that in my case, Sukari Industries is going to take your sugar. You know that there's a local miller close by who's going to take your sugar. So it's better than nothing. But a lot of our farmers, they have land, and they have land that is rich. They have land that has got what we call in Swahili rotuba. A lot of our people, a lot of the parts of this country that have been classified as poor, we are not poor because of lack of natural resources. We are poor because what is ascribed to us, what is brought to